Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, June 12th. And you can see a pretty nice start to the day out there. A couple of trucks waiting to get loaded with corn. And if we look at some of the headlines, clouds will increase today. We'll have some sunshine from time to time, but then we'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms move into the area late today, but especially for tonight, about a 40 to 60% chance of those thunderstorms. And of course, anytime you get into the summertime, any thunderstorm can produce some heavy rainfall. And then looks like the heat and humidity. We've been talking about this gradual warming trend that we'd be heading to as far as the overall pattern. And I think now by next week we could see plenty of temperatures, maybe as early as Sunday, getting into the mid 80s to around 90 or even better. Looks like a pretty warm week coming up next week. Could be a heat wave in some portions over the eastern U.S. As far as yesterday, we had a high of 80 and a low of 54. Our normal high is 77 and the low of 53. You can see 3 years ago on this date, we had just over 2 inches of rainfall. If we look at the next screenshot, you can see some of the growing degree days by location along with the precipitation amounts since May 1st. And if we look at the growing degree days over the last few years of each of our locations, you can see in 2017, we're ahead of the last 2 years. Not by a ton, but certainly well ahead of last year's pace. As far as the individual 50% plant data on corn locations, you can see here in Breckenridge, we're pretty close to last year, just a little above it and ahead of normal. If we look at Clarksville, again, pretty close to 2017, just a little behind, but above normal. And then, of course, with the late planting date here in Blissfield, they're well behind, but with the heat and humidity coming up, I think we'll certainly catch up on the growth of the corn, and we'll eventually, I think, surpass some of these, as we do expect overall a pretty warm summer coming up. As far as temperatures out there this morning, temperatures mainly in the 50s to around 60 degrees. The warm spot 62 at Blissfield, the cool spot 53.8 degrees over in Brown City. On a satellite view this morning, you can see a lot of the whiter cloud tops indicating some stronger thunderstorms developing from Oklahoma and Kansas up into Missouri and Iowa. And again, the blow off of those storms moving off to the northeast while the actual storms themselves are moving to the east-southeast and developing. And then again, we expect more storms to develop later on today. And eventually those will make it into the area as the front will sweep in from the west, pick up that moisture, and allow at least some scattered storms to develop by late in the day. Possibly more significant as we get into the evening and overnight hours. You can see on radar most of the concentration of thunderstorms off to our south of that frontal boundary. But again, our thunderstorms are going to be caused by a cool front moving into the area. Again, it won't be very cold behind it, maybe mainly a wind shift line, and we'll expect that pick up that moisture, lift it, and give us some showers and thunderstorms late today into tonight. And again, you can see on the weather map that front that'll be moving this way, the stationary boundary out the south, keeping much of the heaviest rains off to our south. And if we look at precipitation amounts here over the next 7 days, you can see as that jet stream begins to lift farther and farther north, we'll see more concentration of significant showers and thunderstorms along the U.S.-Canadian border. And for us, as the heat moves in, we'll see a little bit less in the way of precipitation, much of this coming here over for late today, tonight, and then again, maybe Friday night and Saturday, we could have just a scattered chance of a thunderstorm there as well. But again, the heat's going to be coming in from the southwest, right along this area of the least amount of precipitation. We'll get quite warm as we get into next week, as it looks right now. And if we look at the day 3 severe weather out, now this is day 3, and to have an enhanced outlook already up in to this area, certainly a pretty significant event might be shaping up for the high plains. We'll keep an eye on that to see if that eventually moves into the Great Lakes as we get towards late in the weekend or early next week. But certainly some pretty good thunderstorm activity may develop here as we get into Friday and Saturday off in that area. As far as the forecast goes today, you can see highs in the low 80s, around 80 for the next several days after that with lots of sunshine. And again, I think our best chance of thunderstorms in a 5-day period will come tonight. And then we'll see a chance of some scatter storms as we get into Friday night and Saturday. Now, a very high probability as of yet, but we'll see those temperatures again pretty close to 80 degrees with lows in the mid-50s to around 60. But early next week, a sneak peek looks like upper 80s to around 90, maybe low 90s. And again, looks like a very warm week coming up next week. As far as Weather Watch goes, you can see the area of flood watches and flash flood warnings. And then dense fog advisories are out for portions of northwest Minnesota down into northeast South Dakota. And that's all there is for the Great Lakes. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.